back, everyone.
Episode 21
of Witches,
Legends,
Ghosts.
Oh
My.
This is our 21st episode.
Yes.
So we decided 21.
We're gonna bring back something we haven't done in a while.
We started it with the intention of taking shots every episode.
And
then we were like, well, maybe that's a little strange.
well, we started recording earlier in the day at like 10 a.m. and we
True.
just didn't. We felt like taking a shot at 10 a.m. was a little strange.
A little strange, yeah. Yeah, a little strange.
But it's not
so we're
10
gonna bring
a.m.
It's not 10 a.m. It is only 12:30. But one shot. We're going to do it for episode 21. So we got white rum,
Bacardi.
and apple juice to chase it down
Because
with.
we're babies.
Yep. Cheers.
Think it.
Sink it.
All right. Well, episode 21. The theme for this was a really random one. Like I said, we have very random themes because I just went to a word generator website and just wrote some down. So this theme is Tickle. So we could go, we were literally saying,
Yes.
as soon as I read that, I was like, oh no, Hunter, you could have done the Mahaha thing.
Yes. Yeah. So I talked about that just a little bit. I just mentioned it. But
Good.
yeah, that would have been like a perfect one to use.
Yeah.
That's fine. Talk about something else.
Also, I'm sorry if you hear a whole bunch of shuffling in the background. My
Jingle
cats
jangles.
are at their peak energy right now and playing. So you'll be hearing that or seeing. You'll be hearing that or seeing them.
Depending on how you're watching, listening.
Yep.
So apologies for that, but we're gonna keep chugging along anyway.
Yes, we are. Because otherwise, we don't know when we would be able to start.
That's very true.
So, okay, mine is the Hanbury Arms Hotel.
Can I see it written out? The Hanbury Arms Hotel. Okay.
Yes, all separate.
All separate.
So, this building is located in Britain. And was built in 1784, but it wasn't a
1784?
hotel. Yeah, it wasn't a hotel at the beginning. It was like an inn.
Of course, it's Britain. They have buildings from
Uh-huh.
that long ago.
I know.
We don't.
So this is what the outside looks like.
Oh, super cute. Actually, I do like the fact that there's like it's a curved window, right? It looks like a little curved window. Like it comes out just a little bit.
It looks like it doesn't really have a corner in it.
No.
Instead, the edge is like more of a curve than a
is.
corner. That
I like
is very interesting. I didn't notice that before.
Only in Britain.
So, this supposedly sits on, which I need to cover this at some point, the Knights Templar tunnels.
Oh,
so I
yes,
need to cover the
dude.
Knights Templar
Yes.
badly.
Yes.
Because so supposedly this sat on top of tunnels that belong to the Knights Templar.
Well, before you go on, I like to watch things that like almost like what we cover in our podcast.
Oh yeah.
I forgot what channel it is, but they found like 11 temples that were like half buried. Like it's very confusing.
Ooh.
They were like half buried. I don't know how to describe it. No. Okay. The temples were like carved out of the ground.
Yes.
So like it's a whole ass building, but like it's made out of the ground.
Yeah.
And there's like 11 of them. And nobody knows like what they're from. People think it's from the Knights of the Templar. Yeah.
Interesting.
But it's so cool, dude.
Ooh, I wonder,
So
you should
fucking
cover that
cool.
and I should cover the Knights Templar
Yeah,
for
I was gonna say,
a video.
to tie them together. But I
'Cause
saw
our
that.
stuff ties together all the time somehow anyway.
But the buildings are like insane. Like so like it's crazy when you look at it because you're just like, it's just grass, regular land, and then all of a sudden it's just like a 30-40 foot drop.
That's
and there's just like
crazy.
the roof is just there, and like you have to like
The roof. So they have a roof on it.
yeah.
What is the roof?
The roof is just, I don't know how to describe it. Let me show you. I don't know.
I was gonna say at first it reminded me of like Star Wars when Luke stays with his uncle and they're like their house is like in the ground but it's like open.
No. Buildings built in the ground, Knights Templar. It's like this. Like the roof is like almost in line with the ground. And it's just like a giant,
dude, that's really
like,
cool.
I don't know how many foot drop, and they just like built this out of like
So okay.
it's like they sculpted it.
They
out
sculpted
of the
it outside of the ground and basically made like picture like a big like quarry essentially, but then like in the middle of the quarry instead of water is just like 2 buildings that have just been carved out of the ground, and then the rest of it is like carved on the side of
down.
it. Is essentially what it looks like.
It's like a sculpture. Like when you have like when sculptors are sculpting, they have like a giant block and they like take parts out to make it a thing. That's how they made this building. They like dug out the ground and made a building out of like the ground, like sculpted it.
Instead of like constructing things and piecing them together, they like deconstructed the outside of it. That's really, really
so there's
cool.
like 11 buildings that are, I think, like around the same area that are all like different looking, but they all are like
that has to do with
the ground. And they think, because they don't know where. There's no like origin. Record. Yeah, there's no record. There's no origin. So people have like tied it to that. So
that'd be cool.
But anyways.
So anyway, besides,
yes.
It also used to be a coroner's place and a morgue. And it also was a place of execution at one point. So
I'm sorry, what is this again?
It's a hotel now. It didn't used to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to turn into a hotel.
Also, what's really nice is that the original hanging beam that they used to execute people is still visible in the cellar.
What do you mean?
Like the beam they used to hang people is just on display in the cellar.
Why?
Yeah. So a couple bought this place and they turned it into like a half museum, half hotel, basically. It used to be like a pub, I think, or it's connected to a pub or something like that. Yeah. And they turned it into a museum as well, where they have their own haunted object collection. So kind of how we have, like in America, we have the Warrens, the Warrens Museum, which apparently you can't go visit now. Apparently that's shut down. You're not allowed to go visit it.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to either. When I was younger, I wanted to for some reason, but
that shit.
Yeah. So this place is essentially like that version. So the woman, her name is Tracy. I have a quote from her of when they were buying it. Quote: "As soon as we walked in, we could feel the energy here, added to by the underground tunnels beneath the pub and the ley lines going through it. It's everything we wanted." End quote.
Ley lines. You guys have to listen to our previous episode. We talked about ley lines.
So I think what they're assuming is that the ley lines either match up with the tunnels, with the Knights Templar tunnels all around, or just in this one area.
If they match up with the ley lines, if the tunnels match up with the ley lines, I'm dead. Like,
dude, right?
That explains everything to me.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? So, okay. We definitely need to film one with the Knights Templar, because I don't know enough about them to be able to like talk about it. I just know that they existed.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, because the ley lines, people, in the episode we talk about how people thought the ley lines were just like because of geography, like a geographical thing. But then there's people who claim that the ley lines are like more spiritual. More spiritual, energetic like force. But there's no like evidence basically, but if those tunnels line up the ley lines, I'm done. Evidence. They are a spiritual, energetic thing. It's not just geographical. So that needs to be researched.
That'd be so cool. So I'm going to show you a picture of their museum with the little objects they have. It's a lot of dolls. And a lot of them are in cases too that are like, do not open.
I'm not a fan.
No.
I've never really been the kid that has dolls.
Me neither.
Yeah. The most is like stuffed animal Webkins. Like that was.
Well, those aren't dolls though.
No, but it's like the closest thing that I had to a doll.
I also have a picture of the couple that bought it, but before I show it to you, I need to explain what they're standing with. So from the days when this place was a mortuary, there are still coffins.
What?
In there, in the cellar. It's part of the building, and you can see them. So in this picture, they're posing with some of the leftover coffins that were just in the cellar.
So they bought this place.
Yep.
And nobody took any of the stuff out. Like they're just like whoever had it before them was like, okay, well we're done with it. So does anybody else want it? They didn't clean any of their shit out.
Well, the cellar stuff, like, that had been in there since, like, the 1700s, so no one ever cleared anything out.
That's crazy. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
The preservation. We don't have that.
No. So the cellar itself, like I said, they think it was parts of the Knights Templar. They know it had tunnels. Like, they know that. Because it stretched under the road that was, like, next to it that led to a large church.
That is really
interesting.
Cool.
But these tunnels have since been sealed because, obviously, if people are staying there, they are going to try and go around in the tunnels and they could get lost and, not good.
Yeah, no. But that sucks. They're sealed off. They're not like
no, they're sealed off.
Okay.
Yeah. You can stay the night in the cellar, and you get a certificate saying that like you did it. But before you do, you have to sign a disclaimer.
Really?
Yeah. So here's a picture, another picture of the coffins.
Oh my gosh, it's such a little tiny one, or it just looks small.
Kind of sad.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's really sad.
And then we have this awful thing where it shows the beds of where you guys. This is if you were picturing like a nice 4-star hotel.
No.
When I show you these beds, when I show you the cellar where you can sleep.
Okay, so this is just the cellar, not the other places you can stay in.
No, this is just the cellar. However, there's like they literally have like a hooded figure just like in the corner. I don't know if it's supposed to be there. It's awful.
Okay. Oh, that's definitely like, yeah, they have like the hood hanging there. Yeah. So it's like looks like a prison.
Yeah.
It looks
4 beds.
It looks exactly what you would picture beds in a cellar to look like. I mean, it's just beds in a cellar. That's it.
Like the
twin beds.
The beds look great. Like the comforters look super comfy. But everything around it makes me never want to sleep in it ever.
Oh yeah, no.
But you get a certificate at the end.
I don't want to have to sign a disclaimer to stay in a bed.
Next, after that history, we have the spirits that are there. There is supposedly a little boy dressed in Victorian-style clothing. A troubled little girl named Emily.
Oh.
The spirit of a dog.
Oh, that's unique. I feel like you never hear about like the spirits of animals.
Which is so interesting because in the one for the next episode that we're doing, I talk about animal spirits.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So there's also a large man there that is known to like push visitors onto the ground. Do you know how much energy that takes as like a ghost? Like they ghost hunters and like paranormal investigators and stuff will talk about how it takes a lot of energy to be able to like throw things, to be able to move things, to be able to like do anything. So to have the amount of energy to be able to push a human, like not just to the ground, that's a lot of fucking energy and a lot of anger.
Strong man.
Yeah. There is also a man who sits at the bar and sings.
Oh, I love him. He's singing. He's
singing sea shanties for sure.
Yeah, but if he was around the days when Piano Man came out,
100%
on that shit.
Absolutely. One of the coroners that used to work there when it was a morgue is still there. The former executioner just like walks around. A mourning widow. Patrons of the old inn and the public house when it used to be that. The old landlady. And so all of these spirits have been seen in and around the hotel along with being, so like when it says around, it's around the old stables, which is now a garden. So they're just like all in that general area. Right? Isn't that cute that they turned that into a garden?
Walking along the gardens.
And then here are the hauntings. So there's just a list of things that happen to people there.
Okay, good.
Random cold spots. Oppressive feelings. Things thrown about. Things moving around the downstairs area. Like just like things being displaced. Children giggling. Fuck that. Singing, whistling, whispers, glass smashing, lights turning off, feeling a tap on your shoulder, turning around and no one's there. Here's where the tickling comes in, if anyone was wondering. Sometimes, if you're sleeping there and your foot's hanging off the bed, you get a little tickle on your foot.
I don't like that at all.
No.
Dude,
absolutely disgusting.
No. Pause. Who sleeps with their foot hanging off the goddamn bed? You need to protect yourself. Cover your feet. What? No! Cover your feet, cover your hands, cover.
No, I can't. I suffocate.
Oh, you do suffocate.
I get so hot so easily that I need like at least one foot. It's not necessarily hanging over the edge. Sometimes I will say I have done that in the past, but like usually it's like one foot is outside of the covers, but then wrapped back around the covers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's still on the bed, but it's like outside of the covers because I get
Dude.
way too hot.
No, I like cannot.
I know you can't. I know you can't.
I watched this thing has haunted me since I watched it. I think it was in middle school, honestly. I watched like there's like so many ghost shows. I forgot.
Oh, there's so many too.
But in this one episode, this lady was talking about her experience, and she said she was like laying in bed, and she like felt she was like laying on her side. She felt a breath against the side of her
No, thank
neck,
you.
and she heard like this man spoke words to her in her ear, and when she looked over, there's nobody there. And since fucking then, I have to cover my ear that is exposed. Like I take my blanket, I sleep with a blanket because I'm a baby. I take my blanket and I just cover my ear. All of my extremities are covered. My ear is covered. So really the only thing that anybody can do anything to when I'm sleeping is my face, because that is the only thing.
Yeah, no, I would not be able
blankets.
to. I would for sure get so hot. Oh my God, I would die. It would need to be like 50 degrees in the bedroom for me to be able to sleep like that.
Like a thin blanket, not a comforter.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. And I can't cover.
You would, yeah.
The only time I've ever done that is when it was so cold. It's like so cold that my nose was cold and I needed to cover with that. And see, that I enjoyed. That was nice. I am a baby when it comes to heat.
Yes.
That's me.
For sure.
So, okay, so there's the tickling thing. That's the only part that relates to tickling with mine. But also, there's a rocking horse that they have that will start rocking by itself.
Oh. Dude, no. I love rocking chairs, dude. I fucking love rocking chairs at work because I work at a daycare. So when I'm in the baby room, oh my God, I love sitting in the rocking chairs. It's like instead of rocking my leg, like shaking my leg, I just get to rock back and forth.
Yes,
oh my God,
it's
so like reassuring and nice.
But then you think of this.
But then I think when I see an empty rocking chair, not at work, like if somebody were to have a rocking chair at their house, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing with a rocking chair?
He won't pop.
That's like. Yeah, I know. That's like, you're asking for it to rock without, like, you're asking fucking for that shit. I'm surprised. I have a chair in my bedroom because I found it at Salvation Army, and it has, like, a cute little, like, cherub. It's, like, beautiful. I love this chair. But it's not a rocking chair. But even still, I'm, like, sometimes I'll look at it, and I'm like, if I wake up and somebody's in that chair, like, I don't know what I'll do.
I would put a blanket over it at night, probably.
Well, to be fair, I mean... clothes, when I try on clothes, I never wear this first outfit that I put on, so that's where all of the clean clothes that I choose not to wear goes, because I'm too lazy to hang them back up.
Yeah, I get that. So actually
it normally is covered.
Yeah,
I would like it not to be because it's like so beautiful, but it's normally covered, so normally nobody can sit on it unless a ghostie wants to sit on all the shit that's on it.
Yeah,
but
a ghostie.
But I'm still like, sometimes I'm like, what if I wake up and there's like a dark figure there.
Man.
But then I tell myself, that won't happen. And then I go to sleep.
There you go.
But rocking chair is a different story. I can never own a fucking, like, traditional rocking chair specifically.
I was going to say, what about the one that just kind of glides back and forth?
The advanced ones I could only have in the nursery.
I was going to say, you would want one for the nursery.
Yeah, but I'm not having a rocking chair anywhere else. Certainly not in my bedroom.
No, God, no. You wake up and it's just rock. Oh, God.
At that point.
Unless you have a cat. And then you can tell yourself, oh, the cat was just on it and just jumped off.
I do that shit all the time. Because my house makes noises. I swear it's haunted. Like, I fucking swear it is. I've heard some noises. And it's not that old of a house. Like, I know the difference between it settling. Because it does, like, make just, like, noises in a house. And other noises. And when it makes noises when Elias, my cat, is, like, sleeping in bed with me, I'm always like, okay, I'll accept this. Like, I'm just gonna accept it. It reassures me that it's a ghost, because if it's not a ghost, then somebody broke in. So I'd rather it be a ghost or spirit or something supernatural than anything else, because people scare me more than
100%.
Anything on this planet. Absolutely. So as long as it's not another living human being, I don't care what human being it is. Yeah. Well,
that's also another thing, a good thing about just having pets in general is if a noise happens and they haven't moved, or they just look up for a second and then they like continue doing what they're doing, that makes me feel so much better. I'm like, oh, you're not concerned? I'm not concerned.
Yeah. It's when my cat sits in front of my closet and just stares at it and tries to open it that I'm like,
I'm not opening that ever, actually.
I tell myself, well, I do open it. I always open it. I'm like, okay, if there's a human in there, I always take my little dagger with me. I open it. There's no one in there. I'm like, okay, if it's a ghost, I'm just going to leave you alone and gently shut it and then leave. But yeah, no.
Is he satisfied with that once he looks inside? Does he go away after? Or does he continue to stare?
It depends on the day.
Depends on the
Well, it's either, like, it is reassuring because I feel like for him, it's either a ghost, another person, or, like, a mouse. So no mice moved. He didn't go in there and, like, immediately knew where the mouse was. Right. So there's no mice.
Yep.
And there's no human in there. So I feel like the last option is it has to be a ghost. Yep. Because cats aren't that stupid to just, like, be obsessed with the closet for some reason.
No, they are intuitive.
So it's more reassuring than anything, honestly.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah. So, haunted house. I think I do have a haunted house.
Yeah, you said that for a while.
But I used to be, like, afraid of it, and I'm just like,
it's fine.
I've been here for, like, almost 20 years. Like, I think if something were to happen, it would have happened by now. So it must be at least a friendly ghost or just a neutral.
Or just, like, the energy of something that was there, but it's not actually, like, a full ghost or something.
Yeah, like, what is the word?
Remnant?
Remnant energy from something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So besides that, there are some strange smells that will happen throughout. So, like, one room will always smell, like, really strongly like garlic. Like, always. And there's, like, nothing in there that would cause the garlic smell. It's just that room. It's like, you cross the threshold and it's, like, garlic.
Weird.
Yeah. And then another one specific spirit, they don't know which one, but smells distinctly like an aftershave that's called, like, Brute.
Oh.
So it's, like, very specific aftershave that you'll know that spirit's walking by when you smell that.
I think that's really cute, actually.
I think that's cute, too. Yeah,
okay,
me too.
Bella, our friend Bella, her grandma's house is 110 million % haunted.
Yes.
She told me...
This I know for a fact.
Yes. There is a specific room in the house that, whenever, like, men are in that room, the room, like, permits, like, a smell. I think I'm telling the story right. The room permits a smell, and then, so, like, whenever, like...
Emits.
Did I not say that?
You said permits.
Oh, whenever it emits, it'll emit a smell. So Bella has a brother, Gabe, and whenever Gabe would, like, sleep in that room, like, when they're staying the night, it would, like, the room would smell bad or smell like something. Oh. But whenever, like Bella would stay in there or a woman would stay in there, it's, like, it doesn't smell. Yeah, it's totally fine.
Weird.
So it's, like, the spirit doesn't like men. Any male figure at all.
Interesting.
Like yeah.
Just in that room specifically?
Just in that room specifically. So they think whoever is in there, like, that's their bedroom that they had. Because this house is
get out.
Old as fuck, you guys. Like, fucking old as shit. She also told me another story.
Oh, goody.
I can't remember the specifics, but she told me that she was there alone. And she, like, heard some noise, and it sounded like somebody was, like, walking in the house. So Bella, like, left. She, like, went outside one of the side doors and just, like, stayed outside the house and, like, called her mom and told her mom, like, somebody's in the house, blah, 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 blah. And I guess, I can't remember if Bella stayed outside, and waited for her mom to, like, come back to the house. Yeah. Or if she went back in. But, yeah, I guess they hear footsteps up the stairs, like, just regularly. Like, rapid footsteps, like, going up and downstairs. Dude, that's awful. Yeah. So at least no, that's a lie. I definitely have heard footsteps. Never mind. But...
I know you've heard footsteps.
But I haven't heard any, like, I haven't had any smells. Not that the spirits have been, like, malicious, like, at the grandma's house, but they've just been more, make you know their existence more than the ones that I think might be at my house.
Yeah, you should. No, never mind.
Yeah, I don't want to. We're chilling. So. Yeah.
I mean, you could always do just, like, a little cleanse. Make sure it's not bad spirits. Mm. At least in your room.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is bad in my room. I don't think it's bad anywhere.
Well, that's good.
I'm more afraid of people than anything else. Oh, yeah, 100%. Honestly, like, ghosties are, like, so reassuring.
Yeah, I would prefer to have ghosts.
I swear to God, though, dude, like, one morning, I don't know if it was morning. No, it was night. I genuinely heard footsteps fucking walking up the stairs. I swear to fucking God. And I think I was alone, but I got up with my little knife, thinking it's somebody's in the house. Yeah. I never immediately think of ghosts. I'm always like, oh my God, somebody's gonna fucking murder me. And I called for Taylor because she is like awake sometimes at like 2 a.m. She like dances around and walks around. And so I called for her and she's in her bed and my parents are gone, I think. And so I walked downstairs. I looked everywhere and there's nobody fucking there, but I know I heard footsteps.
Did she?
Yeah, she did too. She told me. She didn't answer me, so fucking thank you. But she told me that next morning. I asked. I said, I heard totally heard footsteps. Totally heard footsteps, and I wasn't sure if it was you or not. And she said, no, I thought I heard somebody downstairs too. So
that was before you went downstairs.
Yeah, that was before.
Around?
Yeah, because then she heard me go downstairs after that. But yeah, so I was like, okay,
cool.
At least it wasn't a person. It wasn't a person. We didn't get murdered. Thank God.
Thank goodness. Yes.
So, what were we talking about?
More hauntings.
Yeah, but what did you say?
Oh, the aftershave.
Oh, the smells. Yes.
The smells.
Talking about. Okay.
After the smells, some guests have woken up and felt something was hovering over them, and they look up and they see a dark cloaked figure.
No.
But see, to me, it's like after seeing the cellar picture, it's like, do the owners just put these figures in front of people to wake up?
That's true.
They just look
dude.
Someone was pulled into the corner of the museum by a ghost, literally pulled into the corner.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, oh, they just left. They're like, fuck that, and they just left.
Oh, maybe they were trying to cop a feel.
Oh, maybe.
Let's say, hey, we can go to the corner. There's
there's no one over here.
Nobody over there. You come here often.
Do you want to come back?
Do you want to come back? I want to come down to my cellar. The man cave, I call it.
Construction workers have had experiences there when they've been modeling stuff, and they've left and refused to come back. They're like,
really? No. That says a lot. If
I agree.
Construction workers, I feel like they experience a lot.
Oh yeah.
People wise and equipment wise.
Yep.
So for them to be like, no, we're done. That is worrying.
Yes. And then lastly, the guests will experience all of these things in the middle of the night, and sometimes they'll just straight up leave in the middle of the night. They'll just pack their things and they just escape.
I love that.
Yeah. So that's the Hanbury Arms Hotel.
I do think
and
that
mortuary.
And yeah.
An execution spot. And possibly on top of the tunnels of the Knights Templar.
And also, it's connected to the church nearby. I feel like there's definitely a difference between spirits because, I don't know, I just had this experience what is it called? Kalahari? Mm-hmm. I had this experience at Kalahari, really? Dude. And, I mean,
I've never been there.
I was young and,
okay.
I had
How old were you?
I would say middle school.
Okay.
Maybe. But me and my family went there, and for some reason I could not sleep. I think we only stayed there for a night or something.
Oh, okay.
But I could not sleep. I finally got to sleep, and I had the scariest nightmare of my entire life. I can't remember it, but I just remember being scared out of my goddamn mind. And I woke up, everyone's asleep, but I'm just I just felt dread. Yes, I felt so much dread, and I stayed up the rest of the night after that. I genuinely couldn't go to sleep. I didn't want to even get out of bed to turn the lights on because I was so freaked out.
Yes.
None of my parents were moving. They're just fully asleep, and I'm the only one awake. And I think I would try to go on my phone, but I can't. I couldn't get rid of that fear, so I just sat in the dark until the sun finally came up.
Oh my
and
God.
Once the sun came up and people were awake, I was felt much better.
Yeah.
But since then, I never want to go back there. After
That's
that, it
fair.
wasn't even anything happened. I just had the scariest nightmare ever, and I felt fear.
Well, yeah.
But I'm just not gonna chance it and go back there.
No.
But then stuff where I hear an action, I hear a man or person walking around my house. I don't, as long as it's not a real person, I'm okay, I'm fine with that.
But you won't go back to this.
I feel I won't go back to Kalahari. But I feel you can just feel the difference sometimes with
the
intentions.
Well, I agree. And also, that's crazy because I've only had one. I mean, I've had multiple nightmares and stuff, but there's only been one that I very distinctly remember. This is very long time ago. This was probably first grade. I still went over and visited my father.
Mm-hmm.
It was at Brian's, and he we would like sleep in the same bed, and his girlfriend was out on the couch. Like when I would come stay, she would sleep out on the couch. I know. Well, he had like a sweatshirt like hanging up on like the window thing. And I woke up in the middle of the night after having the worst nightmare of my life, which I remember the nightmare distinctly too.
Really?
It was all black and white.
Ooh,
there was not a single
like
color.
that.
And there were like skeletons everywhere, and they were like marching, and it was all dark and scary. Awful. So I wake up, already terrified, and I am like out of it, and I see what I think is like a Dementor, essentially.
Literally.
Right? Like just in right there. And I'm terrified. And I like wanted to go out into the living room to like get out of that area.
Yes.
But for some reason was convinced that if I stepped onto the floor, it was gonna be an open floor and I was just gonna fall.
Oh.
Like convinced. I had to like lean down and like touch the ground first to make sure it was there. And then I like crawled out to the living room where Teresa was. And woke her up, and then I slept out there because the TV was on out there, so I could actually have something. But it was truly like I can't even. That was the worst. Oh God, it was awful. It was awful, awful, awful. I've never felt like that.
I can feel that. Like I know I've definitely. There's been moments where I like wake up and I have like a jacket and stuff hanging in my room, or even like other places where I wake up and that's like the first thing that I see. And I'm still like half asleep.
Down your spine.
Yeah. It's like my body like goes in survival mode and it's like if I don't move, it won't get me.
Yes.
Like if I just stay still as possible. Yeah, I'm like trying to make it, which is so fucking funny thinking about like you're just staring. I'm like trying to make out. Does it have a face? Like is it actually
moving?
Like is my eyes deceiving me? And they have been every time. But it's like I don't know. I just hate that. That, like, you're half asleep, half awake. Your mind hasn't caught up with, like, what's going on.
And it makes things up.
And it makes things up. And it takes, like, a long-ass time for your mind to be like,
calm down.
Okay.
Calm down.
And
your
then
heart rate starts to slow.
The relief that you feel after you...
And you're so tired after that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's like... Oh, I love that.
Overwhelming.
Relief. People, like, when you read books, if you're a reader, when people, like, explain relief in books, it's like you feel cold, almost like
it washes over you.
Water, like cold water or chill or something washes over you. It's exactly like that. It's like,
truly.
Oh my God. It's like you jumped into cold water and you finally can take, like, a big ass breath because you've been holding it. It's like that.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So what did you bring for us?
So I went a very different route.
Ooh, I'm excited.
I talk about, like, philosophical and, like, mythological and, like, a little bit of history when it comes to tickling.
So excited. Okay.
So we're going to start with Aristotle.
Okay.
Aristotle talks about tickling in his work Parts of Animals.
Oh.
And he argues that touch is the most primary sense, and human beings are uniquely privileged in possessing the sharp sense of touch because of the delicate nature of our skin. So he's saying that, like, humans are privileged because touch is, like, our main
sense.
He says that although other animals have more advanced smell or hearing, a person's sense of touch is its most fine-tuned.
So, like, animals don't have as sensitive of, like, touch than we do?
That's what Aristotle said.
Okay.
But, so he calls it, like, a privilege that, like, humans have this, like, hypersensitive, like, touch.
Yeah.
But there has been, like, scientific research that refute this.
Oh.
Because Aristotle basically says that tickling could only affect human beings because of because of our skin being, like, built different.
I thought animals could for sure be tickled.
Yes. No, monkeys are ticklish. And there actually has been recorded, like, laughter-like ultrasonic chirping if you tickle rats, too.
Oh, that's so cute!
So you might not be able to, like, hear it, like, if you, like, tickle a rat, but, like, if you use, like, I don't know, the technology that they get to, like, slow it down or make it louder, rats are laughing. And I guess the most famous tickler...
I'm so sorry.
No.
It doesn't... So they're like actually laughing. It's not like they're not like being hurt, right? Like when they get tickled, it's not like a harmful thing. It's like
I don't think so. Like
okay.
I have a picture of a monkey getting tickled and he's so happy looking.
That's so cute.
He's dying of laughter.
That's so cute.
He's like, oh my god, I think this is the cutest thing I've ever seen. And then I guess the most famous ticklish animal, I don't know if you would call it tickling, but this is what they call it tickling.
Okay.
If you tickle a trout, like a trout fish,
wow,
it falls into like a trance-like state when its underbelly is like gently like tickled or rubbed. Like it stops moving and it just kind of like
mellows out. Weird.
Isn't that so fucking weird? I love that. Like a fish, a monkey, and a rat. Like, and then humans.
So different.
What?
All are different. So that means I feel like everything in between that would be.
Yeah. But those are the only ones that like
they've done studies and stuff.
Studies on, I guess.
Time out before little mister wants to crawl into my lap so I can finally show him to the world. This is Astraeus, if you're watching. He is 11 weeks old.
He's so cute, you guys. And he's also like on crack. Like he's a terror.
He is a terror.
In the best way
when
possible.
He is very energetic, yes, but he gets very cute and sleepy as well.
Oh, yes. So, of course.
We're gonna hope that that's what happens. He's just gonna chill and not step on your computer.
No.
Anyway.
So moving on to somebody else, neuroscientist Robert Provin. He talks about tickling in the sense of like games. So he says that the I'm gonna get you game of like threatened tickle is practiced by human beings. But
threatened tickle, that's a good point.
It is. Yeah, right? It's a threatened tickle. But
gonna get you.
It's the only joke that he says can be equally well to a baby human and a chimpanzee. So chimpanzees can also, you can be like, I'm gonna get you, like, I'm gonna tickle you. And they like know what you're threatening them with. Like, obviously I think you have to tickle them first.
Right.
But like they think they'll laugh if you threaten them with tickling.
Is so cute.
It is very cute. The fact that, so I think in the picture that I have here, like this is them threatening to tickle him and he's like dying.
He's like, no, don't do it!
Don't do it, oh no! So I think that's hilarious.
That is very, very cute.
He also says, so the Robert Provin, the neuroscientist, argues that proper ticklish laughter is not actually funny because it's too much of an automatic or neurological reaction.
Yes.
But the laughter when people receive tickling as a mock attack, that's like actually like a joke. That's like actual real laughter.
That makes sense.
But I never broke it down.
No, but that totally makes sense.
Yeah. And so then the next thing we're going to talk about is like pleasure in pain.
Okay.
So I guess this is an idea that fascinated thinkers like Plato or Nietzsche, I don't know how to pronounce it, Freud. And they argue that tickling serves as an alternative way of thinking about pleasure, like as titillation and excitation. And Nietzsche, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, puts it as, what is the best life? To be tickled to death. I guess foot tickling has been used for sexual arousal.
Oh.
For centuries. Like, many of people like Catherine the Great, Anna Ivanova, and Elizabeth, and like those famous people like participated in like foot tickling.
As like a fetish?
Like
a foot fetish?
So, I'll explain it when I talk about Anna Leopoldova had at least 6 ticklers at her feet. And while the ticklers like would tickle their feet, they also like were telling stories and singing. And I guess that the tickling was done to work the ladies up to an erotic pitch so that they can meet their husbands or lovers in a sex impassioned mood. So tickling like
it was like a foreplay. It was like a foreplay.
But they didn't do it with their partner. Like they had to get tickled beforehand so that they would be like aroused enough for their husband.
Because their husband
sucked.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so they had someone else to get them aroused because he couldn't. Because he was a failure.
All the time.
Anyway.
But this practice was so popular that eunuchs and women were like employed as full-time foot ticklers. And they developed the skill so well that their occupations brought like prestige. They had like good pay. Like literally like Catherine the Great got this done. What do I have
to do to get paid well just to tickle someone's foot? I can
tickle feet and sing. Hello?
For 100%.
Mamma Mia, ABBA's coming at you. Yeah. Like, hello. I'll do it. Sign me up.
Mamma Mia.
For good pay and prestige. Like, they were like the foot ticklers.
Only if it's a woman, though. I'm not gonna touch a man's foot.
No. No,
I'll wash it first too.
Yes.
Wash the feet first to make sure they're clean, and then I'll tickle.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't
extra
think
foreplay.
men normally got it done. I think it was like because men are always in the mood, you know? But women,
that's
like,
stereotype.
women had to be, like, worked up to it. So women were
there's
the primary.
some truth into that, but, like, it's not the amount that you want to do stuff. It's the amount that you need ahead of time in order to get to that point.
Yes. And also, it's because of the husbands that they need to get their foot tickled in the free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, tickle. I'm going to talk about tickling and mythology a little bit. So, in 1984, psychiatrist Donald Black noted that the most ticklish parts of the body, such as the neck and the ribs, are also the most vulnerable in combat. And he claims that when children enthusiastically tickle one another, it serves as a double purpose of inspiring peer bonding and honing reflexes and, like, self-defense skills.
Oh, that makes sense too.
Isn't it, like, so interesting to think about? Like, I've never thought about tickling in any of, like,
that kind of way. Yeah, no.
So he infers that children learn to protect those parts during tickle fights, which is a safe activity, and then, like, they'll know to protect they'll know to protect those most important parts if they need to, like.
Interesting.
Yeah. Super weird. And like I said, the mythology is, like, littered with spirits who use tickling as, like, a torture device. So the Mahaha in Inuit mythology. And then also oddly enough, I talked about the Leshy, I don't remember talking about tickling when it came to the Leshy.
I don't think you did.
But I guess that being tickled to death by a Leshy has been known to happen, but this is most likely because they don't know when fun is enough, and they wind up, like, accidentally killing their victim.
Got it. So it's not on purpose.
Yeah, because the Leshy were, like, protectors of the forest.
Right.
So I think they were, like, tickling to, like...
Make you leave?
Yeah, make you leave, because it's not pleasurable when you get tickled, like, unless it's, like, the teasing, like we talked about, the anticipatory beforehand thing.
Right.
And so they just accidentally killed them. It's been, like, known to happen. But it's not, like, something they do frequently. It's just, like,
accidental.
Has happened.
Interesting.
Yeah. So then tickle torture. Chinese tickle torture is an ancient form of torture practiced by the Chinese, yes, in particular in the courts of the Han Dynasty. And I guess Chinese tickle torture was a punishment for nobility because it left no marks, and a victim could recover relatively easily and quickly.
Yeah.
It's not, like, a painful thing that they need, like, all, like, surgeons and stuff for, which I never thought about either. Like, it's an interesting way to, like, punish somebody without causing, like, lasting damage. Because with the nobility, like, they deserve better, like, torture or whatever. And it doesn't leave any marks, which is interesting.
Are you ticklish?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. When I was, like, in elementary school and tickling was, like, a thing, I didn't like not being in control of it. I think it's, like, an anxiety, like, I need to be in control of everything kind of a thing. And I didn't like that I didn't like it. So
You didn't like that your body reacted without your control?
Yes.
Okay.
So I would just pretend like I wasn't ticklish. So when people would try and do stuff to me, I would just keep a straight face and keep it all together. And because of that, I think it genuinely made me not ticklish.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah. Like, fully
I wish.
Straight face, people could try and I, like, would not crack a smile. Because I was like, because it would make people stop doing it if you didn't react.
Yeah. For sure. People only did it for a reaction.
So as soon as I stopped, and I think it just trained me, which is kind of sad because, but whatever. It's not that big of a deal.
Oh
it's kind of
my
nice
gosh.
to not be ticklish.
It is nice. I think some people too are bored, like, I don't know if it lasts long, but when I tickle some babies, it's like they're squealing, they're, like, trying to get away. And then when you tickle other babies, they're just like,
do nothing.
Why are you touching my
Maybe that's just how it was for me.
Why are you touching my sides, my feet? Like,
yeah, maybe I just was not ticklish.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah, I think there has to be some people who are born without it. But I also wonder if those people who are, like, born without it have, according to that one guy, have less
touch.
No, what is the word I'm looking for? Like, worse self-defense, like, protective instincts over those. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if in his theory, if you connect it to that, I wonder if those people with born without it, don't think about it. Whereas, like, it's unconscious for people who were ticklish, even like you, because you were ticklish at some point, you didn't like it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I wonder if that
is very interesting.
It'd be a cool study.
Yeah, it would.
In ancient Japan, there was a form of punishment called shiki.
Okay.
Shike, which basically translates to private punishment. And the most famous like torture that was done when using private punishment was merciless tickling, basically. So it was in Japan, it was in China, and then a Dutch physiologist, Joost Merlu, recounts an especially cruel tickle torture employed by the ancient Romans. So what the ancient Romans did, I guess, was they put victims on like a piece of wood or something, and they covered the victim's feet with salt so that a goat would lick it off with his rough tongue, and it would like tickle the skin. So then after like they got it all off, they would put more salt on the foot, and like the goats are like continuously licking and like rubbing the skin, and
they have a rough tongue.
Yeah,
that would be like a cat licking you in the same spot over and over again. Oh my god, that would be. I get it.
Yes,
that's
definitely
not just tickle torture.
No, it's like tickle pain torture.
Yeah.
So like they start laughing, and then I think it like slowly gets
because they're rubbing the skin raw.
Yeah. So that was the Dutch, and then Laurent Joubert did a research on like the Renaissance and how they viewed laughter, and he reports that there was a story of a young man whom two girls were tickling to the point that he no longer like was speaking. They thought he fainted until they realized that he died of asphyxiation from being tickled so much. So like you could literally be tickled to death just with the tickling. Oh
my gosh.
Yeah, and another thing, this is my last thing that I have to talk about. December 11th, 1869.
Okay.
I guess there was a young wife whose husband, Michael Puttridge, claimed that he had a cure for her varicose veins. So he like convinced her that he had a cure for her varicose veins, had her laid down and like tied to a plank. And I guess her husband instead devised a plan to tickle her into insanity, which worked because she was institutionalized as a result of her husband like tickling her so much that she literally went insane. The fact that...
Did he get in trouble for it?
It doesn't say.
Probably not.
Probably not. No.
He's a man.
Yeah. So...
tickling is like, insane.
Yeah, so tickling is like, oh, so fun. Oh, like, I hate it. I like it. It's laughter. But then there's also pleasure, and then there's also insanity, and then death.
Yeah.
So that's tickling.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, I've, like...
That was really cool. I like the direction you went with it.
Right? That was very different from, I feel like, what we've normally talked about.
But I like that.
Philosophical, educational.
We try to be educational. Not really.
I mean... History. Yeah, history in the sense, educational in terms of history for sure. So the cards.
The cards, yes. You should go first. Because I went first for this stuff.
Sounds good. So my card is from the Namaste deck, which is just like a stress less card. So these aren't Oracle or Tarot. Right. But this one says that we should breathe in the moment. It says, relax your eyes and breathe in and out normally. Pay attention to your breathing as if it were a captivating story. What part of your body is doing the breathing? Is it your diaphragm, chest, or your whole body? How rapidly is your breath? Are your breaths quick or drawn out? Do you find it difficult to breathe? Is there any pain in your breaths? Access everything you can about your breaths. After, breathe intentionally for 8 minutes. Just by acknowledging your breaths, you give yourself more life and value. This will also allow your mind and body to relax, and the focus is now on your breath and not on anything else.
It's like a good guided meditation, kind of.
It is, yeah.
Of like, focus on this. What I like about guided meditations when it does that, it's like focus on your breathing and then work your way up from your toes. Do you feel it in your toes? And then like you work up your whole body, and then you're forced to focus on your breathing.
Yeah, and focus on the words that the person's speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my therapist brain.
Yes.
There's people ask. I feel like people ask partially why like deep breathing and stuff like that like is recommended for like panic attacks or anger or really like any intense emotion.
Yeah.
It's because our body is like connected to our mind and our emotions. So when we get really mad or if we're feeling like high emotions, normally our body like heats up it gets really hot because it's like in survival mode. So a good way to like calm ourselves down is to literally squeeze ice, because it's not only like partially cooling your body down, but also your mind is now focused on the bite
cold
of the ice against your hands. And if your body calms down, then your emotions are going to calm down.
I really like that.
You can't really be mad. Like if you were to take an ice, if you're like really, really mad and you were to get in a cool bath, you can't stay mad. Like your body is cooling down, so your emotions are like tied to that. It has to calm down.
I really
too.
like that.
Yeah.
So breathing is like another way of regulating body temperature or something.
Because if you're like breathing fast, your body is like heating up. It's like, so if you calm your breathing and focus on it, it's not only like mindful because you're focused on something, but it's also like cooling and slowing your body down, which cools and slows your thoughts down to focus on like this and not like this and that and that and that and that.
And stress.
Yeah. Because normally also when you're like angry or feeling an intense emotion, your mind is like racing. It is not normally focused on anything. It is just kind of like out of your control, basically.
Yeah.
And so this is like forcing yourself back into
really
control.
Cool. I really like that.
Yeah. So there's education for you.
There we go. Okay, I have the Mystic Sisters, and I pulled Nyx, which is crazy because I have a cat named Nyx. I don't know if I've ever said that, but I do.
But she does.
Okay, so the keywords for Nyx are mystery and the unknown. Nyx, the Greek goddess of night, beckons you to relax with the great mystery of the cosmos. She is a shadowy figure who thins the veil to magical realms. It is said that those who worshipped her would do so at night in complete darkness. Nyx reawakens our sense of wonder and awe of the unknown. She urges you to relax and find peace with the deep mysteries. She calms us when we become anxious over things we cannot know. We often become so involved with day-to-day mundane tasks that we forget that deep magic is at work behind the scenes. Synchronistic events, strange coincidences, powerful intuitions, or epiphanies through dreams are more likely to occur and help restore your faith in the mysteries of the universe.
I feel like that connects to this.
I know.
It's like, calm yourself down.
Yeah.
Like, let's calm down and let's focus on not everything.
And I love when things mention synchronicities, because I feel like I see synchronicities all the time.
Yeah.
And so it's so cool, like, when I get a card that says that, because it's like proving that I am noticing it's not just like coincidence. It's like I'm supposed to be noticing it.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Which a lot of people don't notice anything about their surroundings at all.
Right.
Or even like thought patterns. Like people aren't noticing these things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like
that's
that
cool.
card.
I really like that. I know, I've always liked the Nyx card. That's why it was crazy. If you watched our TikTok video, my reaction when I pulled the card is absolutely insane. But it was cool. There's also an Artemis card in there, but there's not an Astraeus card.
Oh man.
I know, I'll have to find one with him in it.
Yeah, for sure.
He's on the ground right now looking up.
Because he's adorable.
He is adorable. Okay. That is
episode 21
for us.
Tickling.
Tickling, which we were not gonna do. But
yes. No. It's not fun. It's not fun. I'm gonna get you.
Okay. You can find us on
Facebook,
Reddit,
Twitter,
Instagram,
Tumblr,
YouTube.
Yeah, I think that's it.
It is it. We don't post on the other things.
No, but
TikTok is like the only thing where we actually post regularly.
Yes.
YouTube also, because obviously that's where our videos are. Find us anywhere you get your podcast.
Yes.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Episode 21.
Peace out, y'all.
Bye.